when you had the live report there, when Julie was going to you, and you were kind of looking left and looking right, going, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Bruce Allen's walking this way, and Snyder and Alex Smith and all his cronies are walking that way, and you knew something was up. That was riveting. I got to say that. And that must have been difficult for you to concentrate on whatever Julie was asking you, but nice job. So kind of set the table for us on what you saw yesterday when you were doing the post-game stuff.
Sure. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was trying to kind of bring viewers where we were because the scene in that hallway was really pretty surreal. So Skins game ends, and I am set up outside of the Washington locker room. And I almost always see Bruce. I almost always see Dan, and they're going different places. But so Bruce Allen was kind of headed towards me, and then Dan Snyder came out of the locker room and was walking towards the SUV that was waiting for him to take him to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of them passed without even the slightest greeting, like they were complete strangers. And then Dan with some other members of the ownership group and Alex got into the SUVs and were whisked away, and Bruce just had to walk down this long, empty hallway by himself down towards the team buses. And Bruce usually takes the buses, Dan doesn't. None of that was the abnormal part, but just the nature of their lack of interaction,
right,
to me was just so telling.
You could feel there was a bad vibe there.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
For sure. And that's why, when I first broke the story that Bruce was going to be out from football, there was a lingering conversation that he could stay with the organization and take over a stadium role. And then by last night, seeing that and then starting to kind of continue to make calls and just other things I heard that were very different and unusual from normal circumstances led me to believe that this was coming, that he was all the way gone. And here we are. I mean, this is a big deal, man.
Oh, I know. It is. It's a big deal.
Something folks never thought would happen,
Do we know, have you done any reporting on who Snyder was consulting with? There are reports that he was consulting with non-Redskins staff people about the direction of the team, front office, coaching, everything.
Yeah, that's my understanding, and I think this has been going on for a decent while. I think at least the last month or so, Dan has been kind of leaning on advisors outside of the organization, and I think it makes sense for a decade, he's kind of talked to Bruce Allen about everything, and so for him to finally see that a change had to be made there, he had to go outside of the organization to get somebody to probably tell him to fire Bruce Allen.
Right.
Bruce isn't going to tell him to do that himself, and I think that's why he had to kind of put together this team of advisors. I have tried like crazy to get some of the names on that list. Mm-hmm. I have not been able to. I think it'd be crazy to think Urban Meyer wasn't involved.
Right.
Considering, we know, if nothing else, he sat with Urban Meyer for 5 hours just a few weeks back. So even if it was just a casual conversation during that period, obviously, Snyder has a very close relationship with Joe Gibbs. I would think Gibbs was involved in some capacity.
Do you think,
let
me ask you this,
advice.
Do you think Bruce Allen was kept in the dark about this, or do you think he's known for a month or 6 weeks that he was going to be gone at the end of the year? What's your vibe on that?
I think he's known for a few weeks. I don't know about – I think he's known for a while that he was out of football.
Yeah.
And now I'll say this. He just kept running everything like he always did, and that's what made things start to – because I was told when they played the Panthers, which I think was December 1st, I was told that Saturday night that it's done, that Bruce will be gone. And, that's when I think at least my first report came out, for the first time Bruce Allen really could be on his way out. I didn't have it all the way firm yet to go there, but that's when I was first told that this is happening. And then, nothing happened. And it seemed like every day that the news didn't come out, that only strengthened Bruce's grip on the organization. And then, I know that all the scouts were in town, and the regional scouts live all over the country. I mean, these guys come to Ashburn for these, week-long summits. And all those guys were in town 2 weeks ago, I believe, and Bruce led the meetings, and it was business as usual. So at that point, you're like, all right, they're talking about 2020 stuff, and this guy's still in charge. What's going on here? But it became very, very clear. I would say I think the organization didn't want to do it while there was still a home game, obviously, because I think if Bruce had been fired and then there was a game, imagine the media scene in the Redskins interview room after that game. Everybody, not just the normal beat folks that are there every day. You would have had every television station from Salisbury to Roanoke there, and it just would have become a circus.
Well, the question is, and we've been throwing this out to the listeners, do you have faith that Snyder is going to completely clean house, or is he just going to elevate an Eric Schaefer or Kyle Smith or whoever? I don't even know who else is in the building, but some other name that's already been there to kind of be the de facto GM. Or if they bring in Rivera, does Rivera have total control over those decisions? It's going to be interesting.
I believe it's the latter. I think Rivera gets the job, and I think Rivera's basically in charge of football operations. Now, does that mean they add somebody to the title of GM? That could happen. There also could just be a president of football ops, something like that.
Right.
Rivera, I talked to some folks out of Charlotte, and the word on – so one thing that I find really even refreshing for Redskins fans, and I get that there's going to be the skeptical bunch that aren't going to give the Skins the benefit of the doubt whatsoever, and frankly, those folks have earned that right. But Rivera is one of very, very few people who is both really well liked and really well respected. And I think that's what matters so much to Dan in this situation, is that they haven't had, somebody that people respect what they do and understand their football decisions, but that players will also fight for and stand up for. So I think that's why they're going to be willing to give up control to the head coach. And I mean, you kind of it's kind of the Niners model, which is ironic because the Skins fired Kyle Shanahan, but you can hire the coach and then let that coach pick their personnel people.
True.
That Kyle hired John Lynch. Let's be clear about that.
Right,
and
right.
I think
and they're working great together, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think even Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona was able to orchestrate a major quarterback change. There are plenty of coaches with a lot of say. I think Rivera has the resume to kind of pull that off.